I have a tendency to run my mouth, so we'll make sure we get started here promptly. We get out there, let's everybody in. You have to come also. All right. If you haven't opened those chips yet, let's get them open. All at the same time right now. Everybody at the same time, that way we don't got to deal with it as we go. There we go. Welcome everybody to the 2019 Prism Kick Off. This is what's becoming an annual event where everybody gets to huddle around and listen to me talk for a little while. Talk a little bit about the year we just got through, the one that we got coming at us. Again, I want to thank the Reeves Theater for hosting us here. This is officially the only place we can fit in town. Today, like I said, we're going to spend a little time. I'm going to go back to some of what I believe to be 2018's biggest achievements. I think it's important that we highlight some of those things. I definitely want to take some time and recognize some individuals for a great year here, and talk about what we did together as a company, and then translate a little bit into what this year looks like for us ahead. As everybody knows, this one could be an interesting one for us. So, just to start, let's start with some of the numbers. Some of you guys may have heard some of this already, but in 2018, Prism Medical processed over 300,000 orders. Which resulted in 269,000 packages being sent across this country to 149,441 individual patients. That's it. Just to bring some perspective to that number, if all of our patients were together in one city, that city would be bigger than places like Syracuse, New York, Charleston, and Columbia, South Carolina, and it would be the 174th largest city in this entire country. That's how many patients we've touched in 1 year. To me, that's pretty impressive. A little bit more, obviously, it takes a lot of people to get that done. And looking at this room again today, I think last year maybe even we may have just barely filled the center of the theater. And a couple of these rows over here I gotta believe I'm gonna be talking to some people in the balcony next year. Also, if you look on over here, here's our team over in Vegas. Vegas, give us a wave, dude. Walker, give these guys a hand. Let me see what's going on here real quick.
It's up there.
Huh?
You gotta go up there. It's on the laptop.
Isn't that the camera right there? And haven't you ever done a selfie before? Isn't this it?
Yes. Yeah.
You guys see us? There they are. Everybody wave. All right, I'll come back and fix this. Glad I can help. So this year we started with 198 employees. Today I'm speaking to 249 members of the Prism team. That is unreal. If I ever thought there was going to be that many people that would be interested in something that I have to say, I figured I probably would have had to pay them, so thank you all for being here. A good portion of we have a large group of that team that actually just joined us last Monday. If you just got here last Monday, stand up. Let's see who you are. Come on, it's all right. You can have a sandwich in one hand. We don't judge around here. Give a round of applause. All the new Prism blood here. Give them a wave. Let me sit back down. Something that we talk about here at Prism, and it's kind of a staple in the world of HR. Is you come to Prism for a job, we want you to stay for a career. So one of the things that I want to do right now is really talk about those who have chosen to make Prism their career. And the people that have worked for Prism for 5 years, we like to give them the Legacy Award. And we do that because when you think about what the word legacy means, it means, well, there's a couple things that it means, but the definition that we know here at Prism is that you've now produced something that is going to be left behind for others to take. You've built a torch that's going to be passed. So once somebody reaches 5 years here at Prism, we like to think that they've definitely left a legacy for those to pick up behind them. We've got 5 people that we're recognizing this year, so I want to make sure that we give them some acknowledgement. And actually, more than half of them aren't even here, but go ahead and stand up when I call your name. We can save the applause for the end. Chelsea Bogus, Casey Darnell, Nick Stellings, who's our regional director in the West, Clayton McMillan, who's our shipping coordinator in Alabama, and Stephen Sharp, who is our shipping coordinator in Indiana. These are our 2018 Legacy Award winners. Let's give them a round of applause. And while you guys are standing, why don't all other Legacy Award winners in here stand up for me? Come on, you guys know who you are. We've clapped for you before. Everybody else, even those wearing masks, sit down. Everybody give these guys a round of applause. These are all current Legacy Award winners here at Prism. So go ahead, you guys, and sit down. So just guys, to give you guys some more perspective, when we do this next year, there's slated to be about 18 people that are going to join the group of folks that are going to be winning Legacy Awards. 18 more individuals that have left their mark on this company that are going to be reaching their 5-year mark in Prism. So I look forward to that. And in that vein, I've realized we've usually done things to try to celebrate these milestones and recognize people for all of what they've given to Prism. Realize that these rooms are getting too big. We used to just sit down for dinner. So those of you may have already heard, we've changed. We're starting a new tradition here this year at Prism, and this will be the first year that Prism throws its annual Dynasty event. In this event, all of the current and past Legacy Award winners will be invited. We hope that this is the flagship social event of Prism every year. So we're going to try to get that started. That happens on Saturday, so it's something I hope to see all of you there. Actually, I know that I'm seeing most all of you there. And for those of you who will be joining us in the years to come. So, let's get to business a little bit. How about it? Okay. So reflecting, trying to think about the greatest accomplishments of 2018. I mean, these years just start breezing by now. It's really hard to nail down the biggest things that I am I'm proud of you for, and proud of this company for. But one thing really kind of rose to the top because it was something that we talked a lot about when I stood in front of you here last year. It represents the direction that we need to go as an organization, and it also shows our continued commitment to developing people and educating within this organization. And that is the success that we've had with the Prism Advantage. One thing that I told you last year here at this time was we've got to change the paradigm for which we train and develop people. Prism needs leaders of the future. There are so many of us now, right? There's no way that I or any handful of people can be directing everybody, from afar. We need leaders who can be hands-on. We need to teach people the skills that are outside of any Prism textbooks and more than just what you need to be able to do well to do the tasks of your job. Thus, we launched the Prism Advantage. And beginning in 2018, we asked for applications, and to be honest with you, I was very surprised at how many people applied. Applying, the first thing you had to do is you had to raise your hand. And you had to say, I think I'm a leader and I want to be a better leader. The second thing you had to do is you actually had to get somebody to attest to the fact that you've got leadership qualities and get recommendations to do so. And you had to fill out an application and submit, and it took work. You also had to commit. You had to commit to realizing that this is going to take a little bit more than just coming to work every day. You have to put a little bit more effort into it than what you would do in any given work day. So frankly, I was shocked. I didn't really think that we were going to have that many interested people out of the gate, but we did. So what we opted to do, you know, we've developed many layers of education. There's an idea that is we're going to continue to grow off of each step and continue to develop people down a road of progression. There were so many people there. The thing that I said to do is we've got to get everybody exposed. So what we opted to do is the first layer of education was the trusted professional, right? And the one thing that the directive that I gave was let's give everybody that applied the opportunity, as many people as we can enroll and get moving down the pathway, let's get them involved. So we focused on getting all the people that we could into the trusted professional, and I think that it was a huge success. If you are a graduate, 2018 graduate of the trusted professional, stand up. Stand up. Fantastic. Let's give these folks a round of applause. All right. So the Prism Advantage is going to continue. You know, one things that have become apparent is that we've got to continue to change the program to meet the needs of the organization and the needs of the individuals that have enrolled in it. You're going to see us move forward into what the next phase is as a change agent. You're going to see us focus on the next level of skills and maybe even try to look at the groups of people that we're putting together and focus on some skills that might help you affect the ability to do your job faster. So the Prism Advantage is alive and it's well and it's thriving. We've also got slated a whole new round of trusted professional classes. I suggest anybody and everybody who's interested to put your hand up because we need you. And this is a good place where you can get some of those soft skills, right? That you don't learn in startup, you know, or anything like that. Some of those things that are essential to being a good leader here at Prism, and we need more leaders here at Prism. So please, if you get the opportunity and it interests you, you know, put your hand up and put your name in the hat because we can use you. So a year ago, at the end of 2017, we did an employee survey. Right? One thing you like to do is figure out how we're doing as a company. With this many folks, we need opinions and ideas. We need to give you an opportunity to voice concerns. And in lieu of doing that this year, and since I have all of these newly graduated and vetted trusted professionals, I opted to run some focus groups. And I gathered in small groups all of the people that have been through the trusted professional this year, and we sat down. And we had an open roundtable conversation about Prism and about about where we are as a company, the things that we're doing well, and then are we, you know, meeting some of the goals that we set for ourselves. A couple things came out of that. You know, some things that I would have thought of myself, and it's clear that these things are making a difference, you know, in our corporate culture. One thing that rose to the top was our continued commitment to community. You know, in 2018, we did a ton of things that continue to lead to development of our corporate culture. You know, from 200 to 250. You know, you don't realize how difficult it is to maintain a corporate identity internally when you're adding so many new personalities year after year after year. Right? I mean, when there's just 10 people sitting in a little office, it's easy to have a corporate culture. But and even when there's 100 people, you know, you guys can get aligned. But when you continue to add the new folks, it's difficult to maintain and hold and cling to something that is centralized in the corporate culture. And our corporate connections team is doing a great job of doing that because it continues to resonate in every conversation that I've had. A couple examples, obviously we've continued to stay committed to our trails. We've committed and followed through with food drives and baby supplies for needy mothers. I think we had the biggest blood drive here that we've ever had, for sure. And there's no question that we created probably the coolest charity event that this town's seen in a long, long time with our color run that we did in the park. And not to mention the amount of money that we raised for the Children's Home of Surrey and the Ebenezer folks over there. You know, this is great because it gives us the ability to do a couple things. One, we can give back. I mean, we're a rapidly growing company. We're extremely fortunate here at Prism, and we should give back, right? And two, it helps us unify, come together, work together for a greater good that doesn't really have anything to do with work, right? And that allows us to get to know one another, feel the togetherness and the community that we can bring, by helping others in need out. And I think that's fantastic. Something that impressed me most this year about corporate connections, and because, when we say that we commit to community, it's not just community outside the doors, right? It's the community inside of the corporate walls as well. And long has been a goal of our corporate connections team to make sure that part of what we're doing is we're reaching out. We have 9 distribution centers across the country. We have a whole office full of people in Vegas, and it is hard sometimes to give everybody the feeling like we're all on one team, right? We're all, doing the same things for the same reasons. I don't know that I felt any more than I did this year that, the concept of connecting out the corporate community has extended more from Elkin than any other time. I mean, this spring I participated in an epilepsy walk with the Vegas team. And I watched them bring their families out. And it was clearly something that they were passionate about. And they came together and they gave back. At the end of the year, when I traveled out there for the Christmas gathering there, I mean, I saw a room full of people when Corporate Connections was presenting, a room full of people. A lot of them knew, that were starting to understand the passion towards connecting. Connecting with their community outside of the doors and connecting with one another inside. So I have a lot of pride in what we're doing and trying to commit to connecting, commit to community in our corporate connections team. And it's good to hear that it's resonating, and it's something that I think that everybody can benefit from being a part of. And this year, there's even going to be new programs that create incentives. There's going to be, you're going to have the opportunity to get a card stamped. You show up to a community service event, right? If you get 10 stamps, you're going to get an extra day of vacation. Woo woo. You kind of remind me like a Darth Vader, something like that. You would sit right in front of me too with that mask. So anyway, our corporate connections and the things that we do to with the community, both inside and outside of these doors, is something that we should all be proud of. And I really thank everybody, the corporate conventions team, and everybody who's participated in anything that has helped Prism connect. I really appreciate all of that, and hopefully you guys are really proud of yourselves. So give yourself meeting with all the, I think I had 6 different meetings with my trusted professionals. All of them had something to say about Paul. Who's this Paul guy? Right? Some of the things I had to say were it was interesting how we tried to brand Paul as this savior for Prism process, right? But there's little things that resonated. I kind of like it. I kind of like my job better since the new workflow. People find it a little bit easier to concentrate because they're able to focus, right? There's things that we're doing now that are a little bit more streamlined. Yeah, it was a little clumsy, to kick off, but now that we're in it, we're really finding that it's probably better. These are all things that we were hoping for. It sounds like some of these things have happened, and it's fantastic because we're going to need all of them, right? But the thing that stuck with me after hearing some of this feedback, yeah, we have a new process in how we're handling things in client ops, and it's good. It means check. We accomplished some of our goals. For me, it was how we got there. This was the single biggest process change that Prism has ever experienced since inception. And when I say biggest, I mean we had to change lines, we had to change Inputs, outputs, I mean, just the simple seating change was impressive.